with us when we were trying to figure our life out in this world. And it was a world where people were having babies later in life and they had a lot more money to do.
Yeah, I'm going to raise my hand. I started having kids at 42, 41, 42.
Yeah. So, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But what I find is happening really interesting, that I'm listening to stories where they're like, this is so hard. I just don't know how I'm going to do this. And in my brain, I'm like, you've got 2 nannies.
Oh my God.
How is that hard? What's hard? And also like so to be fair, my father lives with me now and that's been really helpful. But he didn't then. And it was just Robert and I, and a nanny was absolutely out of the question at the time.
If daycare's off the menu, then nanny's probably not going to cut it either.
No.
So he's actually, that's kind of cool age-wise because,
41, he's 18.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like a little adult and you're an adult, but you're both still young. He's obviously very young, but yeah.
And I can relate to him. Like I always mess with him and, he's not living at home and he's actually living in Sweden. And, we sent him over there for a multitude of reasons. One of which I'm like, there's no money. There's no college fund.
Right.
And if there's no health care. So all of that is free in this country that you're a citizen in. Flybird, go.
So dad maintained citizenship there. Are you a citizen?
No, I'm from Arizona.
I thought so.
Yeah. I'm very American. All my children are citizens. And we made damn sure of that this year. Like, crossed all our T's and dotted all the I's to, just in case.
Well, that's an easy decision then. Yeah.
Yeah. So and actually Sweden at this point is open. Now, I am not arguing.
Wait a minute,
yet Sweden's doing herd. They're the only country.
I just
doing
realized
herd.
that. Yeah, that wasn't going so good though.
Nothing's going so good. But the issue is like, look, I don't think herd mentality would have worked in the United States. So I'm not suggesting. And what my government of California tells me to do is what I do as a business owner.
I'm okay with the smart people.
Yes, and as a citizen. However, Sweden chose herd immunity. Humidity. They did have a high instance of coronavirus in nursing homes, as we did here. But they at least were united and they started from a place where healthcare wasn't a problem. Everybody had access
That's
to
interesting.
healthcare.
Yeah, that's a really relevant point.
And they have a completely different diet. So they started off
And
healthier.
I would imagine things like calling in sick and there's just more of a social fabric, right?
It's a social democracy.
Right.
So the system is set up to be able to help in bad times.
Right. I mean, if you're in California or if you're in Nebraska or Texas or wherever, if you need to go earn money, right, and you can't afford to take time off, then sick or not, people are going to go to work. You know?
Yeah. And that is what happened. California is a little bit better with that. Like as an employer, we are obligated for
they passed
paid sick where you earn it, so many hours you work.
Right.
That's good. I mean, California is maybe in New York too, probably two of the most
I would imagine.
liberal.
Yeah. Maybe Washington too.
Yeah. You actually.
Portland just starts a lot of shit. Oregon.
Well, they just legalized all their drugs, right? All of them. I think, right? They're going to have a new Amsterdam situation.
Nevada was like, wow, Oregon's really, Oregon's gotten a little crazier than Nevada's comfortable with.
Well, Nevada's
like, whatever.
Nevada is comfortable with breaking the laws. That was their origin story.
Like the laws anyway.
Yeah, so Nevada doesn't count. They do it anyway. But yeah, so he is in Sweden, and he'll be starting school soon, and it's good. Yeah,
but that makes sense though. Now that if everybody does have health care, right, and they can afford to kind of self quarantine if they need to.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like, hey, go get sick and then go to the ice rink, right?
No, I mean they.
I mean, you guys follow what's going on over there, right?
Well, yeah, my husband does more than me, but I do actually, I'm connected to it. Also, Ashton calls me all the time, but they're not rebels. This is not like a rebel population
Well,
either.
that was the funny thing when Sweden came out as Sweden's going herd. It was kind of like, wow, Sweden normally isn't the the trailblazer of things.
No, well, they are. They are actually trailblazers. A lot of tech comes out. Like, these are Vikings. These are Vikings in their souls. They are used to, penetrating other societies, and they always they just seem to be fucking everywhere all the time. But yeah, they have a huge influence in the music industry and tech industry.
I'm thinking heavy metal. I'm so stereotyped. I've stereotyped them so bad.
No, but they do have that weird death metal, heavy metal thing. But they also, at some point, one of the producers was doing a lot of Madonna and Britney Spears.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Swede.
So they're everywhere. Swedes, the Vikings are everywhere.
The Vikings. Well, yeah, it is kind of their MO.
But they also don't. But they're not like. The American spirit is like freedom, where, they don't, they're different in that
freedom
way.
I don't want to belittle freedom. Freedom's great. And I think that we are the freest people in the free society that there's ever been, but using it as a excuse to misbehave is kind of silly.
All right. It's a lie. And it's,
or just,
anything to, you're really lucky to be born in the United States. And, you're one of the best things about traveling prior to this is when I would go to other countries and specifically we went to Morocco. And when I would meet women there, the main thing I would hear is, I want to be free to think. And I can't even fucking imagine what it would feel like to not be free to think or express. It's
hard to think. And at times, America, it's like we got a long way to go too.
Yeah. Well, we need to grow up a little bit.
We're so far. Hillary Clinton didn't get elected because she was a woman.
Yeah, sure.
Bottom line, it was close enough that and a dozen, you can pick when it's close, you can pick any little mistake. But I think that there were a lot of, and it's shown itself in the Trump years, just a lot of men just don't want a woman.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not even just men though. So even my, friends that I've had forever in Arizona, and of course they're a little more conservative.
Hey, Arizona's,
Thank you, Arizona.
Can you
Good job. Thank you. But the same, and I love her dearly. It's just the same line every time. Like when she was like, I hate Trump, but I can't do Hillary. I just can't. That woman is like, da, 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 da. And then this time around, it was like, I hate Trump. I don't even watch the news anymore because I can't stand it. But I just can't do Kamala. That woman. And I was like, I feel like we've had this conversation before, and it was I can't do insert female.
Right. Whatever gymnastics their mind has to go through to just reject something.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a podcaster now, huh?
Oh, yeah.
You are.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm already turning red.
That whole thing took a turn.
Danielle sucked us all in.
I know.
And it might have been Nina's idea. It was probably her and Nina's brainchild of...
I listened to the first one.
Uh-huh, yeah.
And we're talking about I'm Not Gonna Lie. And it was an episode. It was ladies' night.
Yes.
And I said, that's a thing. That is... There's a weird kind of chemistry the four of you got.
Yeah. And we always knew it when we would sit and have a drink and laughing. There was a couple times where my kids were home and my kids were like, you're so loud. And then we were. And then I was like,
were you guys just hanging at your house or Zooming?
Yeah. No, we'd come to the house. Yeah.
I haven't done the Zoom drinking thing yet.
It's fine.
It's whatever gets it done, I guess.
And it just gets it down. Just another creative way to get it down.
Yeah.
But we would do some distant stuff like at the house. And then we did some letter writing. Officially we're now in a pod. This is like the only people I see at this point.
That's good. I mean,
yeah.
Especially we're heading into November, December, January is going to be a party.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have COVID for the next year.
For sure. But
Yeah.
if we can keep the cases down, you can, be more normal.
I don't think we're going to get hit normal. I think the winter is going to be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be. I mean, just with the flu and everything else. Mm-hmm. And then you got don't get me started on anti-vaxxers. I don't want to offend if you're any anti-vaxxers.
I'm not. Nope.
But they're wacky.
I like a nice bit of natural health and science, a nice healthy mix of those both. Things. You can do both. Yeah, and I do, and we're fine.
Yeah, It's pretty easy though when you just do math on how good vaccines are.
Yeah. I can't imagine the amount of people we're about to offend in this, but I'm just solid on all of my children will be vaccinated. I don't know that I'm going to jump to a vaccine in a Trump administration. I'm going to proceed with caution during that. But
I think in general, I think everybody, and in fact, I think that everybody's kind of slowed their roll a little bit after the election of we want the trials to be large and they're not. I think they took a breath and like let's do it once and do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was something weird that I just read where the CEO of Pfizer, right? Because they just came out.
Yeah, they had supposedly the good one.
Yeah, but then he sold his stock. And I thought,
right.
Is it a law thing?
And I missed the, you know what? I saw that same article and I didn't get the point because the point was typically when you're thinking of like the CEO dumping stock, they would do it before bad news hits, right? That's the thought.
Well, that was my first like, wait, what is this? And then.
But on the other hand, especially someplace like Pfizer, he's probably holding so much stock in the first place that it takes a little jump and it could just be, he could have just been going to the ATM, but in CEO pharma style.
And I think when I kind of looked into it, because I was skimming, and I'm sure one of my kids was like, "I'm hungry, you can feed me."
What am I, chef?
What am I? I'm sure. God. I think I read like, "Oh, this is actually a technicality," but I remember kind of seeing the headline, being like, "What in the actual fuck is happening now?"
Right? No, it looked like I'm going to get out while the getting's good,
or there was actually something like we were about to turn a corner.
No, I think he just went to the ATM.
I think you're right. I think you're right. But so we're doing a podcast.
So 4 kids, is that why the food at Stockholm, I have the most picky kids and they love eating there?
Yeah, I think.
Do you have picky kids or? The kids menu's awesome.
Yeah, we do have picky kids. Robert tends to be really good at cooking for children. I tried to get vegetables and have it healthier and he's like, just stop. It's the whole,
because if I say Stockholm, they go crazy.
Oh,
they love the hot dogs.
Yeah, those hot dogs are
good.
Hot
dogs and fries are great.
Those frankfurters they're a good quality frankfurter. You should actually try the tunnbrödsrulle and I didn't say it right. I think we probably talked about this.
I don't think so.
The lavash bread, and then you have 2 frankfurters, and you have the mashed potatoes. And it's all wrapped in what looks like a burrito.
Oh, I saw that.
With ketchup and mustard. Yeah. It's actually pretty exceptional. It's fucking good comfort food. It's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
But and I can't, nothing against Petaluma. I can't think of another restaurant where the kids would leave the house for, to be honest.
My kids don't.
And what's funny is it's not a kids restaurant. I mean, it's not, but it's nice as a parent. Right, where I can go have something awesome and the kids are excited to go too.
When you have a bright colored candy bar, I mean, there was some intention behind.
The whole candy thing's good.
Yeah, and it's colorful. Like it actually speaks to children in a much different way. And it was very intentional for parents with young children. I mean, that's really who I was thinking about. So I know when we had started it and the counter service was really a contentious thing because we weren't full service. But, you know, as a parent and having gone to a million restaurants with my children and then they flip the fuck out and you're like, how quick can I get out of this establishment?
Or you'd pay when you order or order when you sit down. And,
you know, and you're waiting for your server to get you, or like, God forbid they forgot a fork. And, you know, just to wait for the bill. Whereas this seemed